Hiya! Today I've got 6 top quality songwriting tips for you, and I've saved the best till last, so if you tap out early, you're only cheating yourself. Number 1. If you can't decide between 2 options, use both. So this can be great when you're writing alone to solve creative dilemmas, but it's even better when you're collaborating with someone and you've got into an argument about how to tackle something. So say you're looking at the chorus, okay, and you think the chorus should go this way, they think the chorus should go that way. Well, you're likely going to have more than one chorus, so what's the problem? Most parts of a song occur more than once, so you've got space to use both ideas, and that'll enrich the song, it'll add variety. I had an example of this once. I was working on a mate's song with him, and he had this bit, and it went... The thing was, when he sent me the chords, he wrote them wrong, so instead of a E, he wrote a G, which would have gone like this. Which to my taste was a lot better, because I always prefer the sort of unexpected sounding chord change. And we had this big long argument about it. It was very tedious, but eventually we realised the chord progression went round twice in a row, and there was room for both of our ideas. And so eventually it went like this. Which is much better than either of our ideas in isolation. Number 2, how to write an ear-bending chord change. So you might have noticed in some of your favourite songs, they'll just have that surprising chord change that hits your ear in an unexpected and surprising way. And found yourself wondering, how do they do that? And the answer usually is by instinct. They've just prodded around until they found something cool. But here's an explanation of the mechanics of how that can work, okay? So, one example, first example I got for you, is Please Please Me, the Beatles, okay? So the verse goes... Right, so that first chord of that riff sounds kind of unexpected in the way that we're talking about. And you might think, why is that? Because the 4 chords we've got there, that's not such an unusual collection of chords, so why is it that that G chord should sound so surprising? And the reason is the vocal melody has set you up to expect something different. Okay, so the vocal melody is like this. Right, so it's all in the E major scale, including a G sharp, okay? So if the song proceeded along those rails, it would go like this. Which is not nearly as good, is it? So they've just found a way to just slightly sidestep that expectation and find a chord that sounds a lot more badass, And if you're hearing that and thinking, I don't know scales, feeling a bit intimidated by that, you don't need to. I've only got the most basic acquaintance with scales myself. It's more a matter of, if you have got half a song, say, and you're trying to find an unexpected way to take it, look at the notes you're using, look at the expectation you've set up in the ear of the listener, and then see if there's a way that you can just find to subvert that subtly. Another way of doing this is that you can play a chord that is on one of the notes in the scale, but where it's supposed to be minor, you could play it as major instead. So an example of this would be Supersonic by Oasis, right? So the verse is going like... And then the bridge is like, and tell you what it's all about. So 4 chords so far. So if you keep climbing up, the next chord you'd expect is a C sharp minor. But what he does, see what I mean? Instead of going to the expected C sharp minor, he turns it into a major with a little 7th note thrown in. Number 3, steal from the greats. So there's this old maxim, isn't there, about good artists borrow, great artists steal. And the fact is, your stuff is probably going to be a lot richer if you're not precious about needing to create every idea yourself. And I'm not saying you should become a plagiarist, but there's ways to steal things and make them your own. Right, and here's a couple of examples. One is you steal from a source nobody would suspect. So if you're in a punk band, steal an idea from a Frank Sinatra record. If you're in a boy band, steal something from Nirvana. This will have the advantage as well of making your stuff less generic. If you're taking ideas from outside your chosen genre, it'll enrich your material. A second idea is to take an existing song or piece of music, put the audio in some music software and reverse it, and then see if any cool melodies come out that you can use. This is basically free material, and there's an entire ocean of it out there. The Damned, on their third album, Machine Gun Etiquette, which is commonly considered one of their best, the guitarist Captain Sensible got a lot of his material by taping advertising jingles off the TV and then just reversing the tapes. The wider point here is you don't only have to use your creativity to come up with your melody lines and lyrics, you can also use your creativity to find ways to steal from other people in ways nobody will ever spot. Number 4, Riff Redemption Part 1. Add stops. So here's a simple one for you. If you've got a riff that you like, but it seems to be lacking something, try putting stops in it. I had one like this once. I had this bit that went... which, I thought it was good, like melodically promising, but it seemed to be lacking something. But eventually I came up with the idea to do it like this. Which I thought was a big improvement. Time for a message from the sponsor. If you're a no-income family like me, pleasure may be beyond your price range, but pep need not be. Honest Value Coffee is Britain's drink, and it's yours for free. Simply recruit 10 other drinkers and persuade them to sign the relevant waivers. Honest Value Coffee, mysteriously Moorish. Riff Redemption Part 2. Delay the event. So here's another way you can improve a riff that you like but you think it's lacking something, and that is to delay the event in the riff. Okay, so here's an example. There's a Fall song called Dedication Not Medication, and this is how the bass line goes. Which is fine, but he does a much better version of it in the intro, right? If the event in that riff is this, he does a version that goes like this. See what I mean? He delays the event, and it creates tension and anticipation. Also, what that'll do is help make your material less repetitive. If your riff is longer, then your material will be less repetitive and more compelling.
Please don't think about the event.
Number 6, don't dismiss what comes easy. So this one might sound dangerous, right? Like some kind of invitation to laziness. So hear me out. Most of us want to avoid writing something cheesy or cliched, and so we tell ourselves that writing a good song is a matter of reaching beyond what seems obvious to find something different. The problem with that is that what seems obvious to you might not be obvious to the world. Every songwriter has a set of default moves, personal cliches, directions their own thoughts habitually go, and it can be very hard to know the difference between those things that are personal to you and ideas that are genuinely overdone in reality. And I've known a few songwriters who just dismiss all their best stuff. You'll hear them playing something beautiful, and you say to them, "What's that? That's brilliant." And they'll just shrug and go, "Oh, it's just some cheesy bit of rubbish I'm messing about with." And then you'll hear their record, the stuff they believe in, and it's full of all this overcomplicated, overproduced stuff. And you're thinking, where's that beautiful song? Where's that great stuff, But they've just said to themselves, well, it came too easy, so it must be worthless. All this stuff that I strived really hard for, that must be the good stuff. And when you think about it, that's mad, because things that come easily to a person, that's called talent. The thing we all hope we have. So you got to be careful that you're not just letting your own ego stifle your talent. And I'm not saying you should never progress or try new things. It's just that I think we often dismiss our own cliches before we even use them. As a starting point, we say to ourselves, this set of things I must not use because they're too obvious. And being creative means always to reach beyond these things and try and find something outside them, when it could be that this set of things is you, and it contains all of your potential to connect most directly with people. Okay, that's that. Thanks for watching. Hope that was useful to you. Here's the subscribe button, and please remember also to click the bell so that it actually works. Here's the video where I talk about borrowing versus stealing in a lot more depth. Here's the video YouTube thinks you want to watch. And finally...